Greetings, friend. I will show you the secret to spotting Sudoku two-string kites. Not only that, but later in the video, I'll share another cool fact about our Friday featured setter, Florian Wortmann. Click below if you want to give it a go. With that, it's solving time. Okay, first thing you want to see here is you can look and see that there is a 7 coming up, column 6, column 5, and coming across row 1. So you can solve for a 7 right there. That's the only place a 7 can be in block 2. Then if you look for these 1s in rows 4 and 5, the only place left for a 1 in block 5 is right there. So you can solve those hidden singles pretty easily. The next thing you want to look at is start focusing on the 9s. You got 2 9s here in rows 4 and 6, and this 9 coming down column 1, so that has to be a 9 right there. And then this 9 coming up column 6 across row 1 means you can solve for a 9 right there. Now these 2 9s coupled with this 9 means you can solve for a 9 right there. Can we do any more solving with the 9s? Well, actually, if you look across here, you'll notice there's only one place left for a 9 because a 9 can't be here because of this 9, 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 can't be here because of that 9. So that's got to be a 9. And then the only place left for a 9 is you got 9 in 2 spots here in block 7 and block 8. Okay, so I'll keep an eye on that. We will need that a little bit later in the puzzle. Other thing you notice is you can solve for 4 because what you'll notice here is that 4's coming up column 6. And so these 4s are a pointing pair. I mean, they can't be anywhere else in row 1 because they got to be somewhere in block 2. And so they're stuck in the row 1 there. And so you got a 4 coming across here, these 4s coming across, and this 4 coming up. You can solve this for a 4. After that, you're not going to be able to find too much more solving here. But I want you to pay attention because this is the key block. Block 3 here is where we can make some progress. And so what can be in block 3 now? We got a 4, 5, 7, 9. So we can have a 1, 2, 3, 6, and 8. And now we're going to trim that out a little bit, right? We'll get rid of the 3s that are across row 1. Across row 8 is an 8. And then up, we got a 1 and a 6 here in column 9. Right here, you can get rid of that 6. And also the 6 up here because in column 8, it's got a 6. And then you got a 3 and an 8 cutting across row 3. Okay, you notice here you got 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 6. If we can eliminate one of these candidates, this will lead to some good solving for us. It's something we'll need to do and focus on. And so if you're looking through here, you're not getting anywhere with the pairs or the triples, you need to go to those single candidate strategies next. And so you're looking for things like wings, swordfish, two-string kites, X chains, skyscrapers. That's the kind of stuff you want to look for. So let's start with the 1s, and I'll show you what going to be pretty cool here. You're going to like it. You're going to keep watching. And remember, I got another cool facts for Florian, so keep on watching after that. There's a lot of great solving in this particular video. Okay, where can 1s be? All right, we can mark the 1s there. We can mark these 1s here. We can mark these 1s here and mark those 1s there. Get rid of these 1s that are already in the puzzle, and we will use the color. Let's go orange. All right. Get rid of that one last one. We don't need that one marked. Okay, so you want to look for some strategies here that'll help you do some solving. And we do have a strategy here. We actually have 2. I'm going to focus on the main one, and then after I give you my cool fact, I'll actually show you the other strategy as well. If you look right here in block 7, you'll notice, the orange cells being where a 1 could be. You have exactly 2 places for a 1 in column 1, and one's inside the block and one's outside the block. And if you come down here in block 7, you'll notice there's only 2 places for a 1 in row 9. One's inside the block and one's outside the block. That is the situation where you see a 2-string kite. All right, so we have a 2-string kite. And what a 2-string kite tells you is that you can eliminate that candidate from any cell that sees both ends of the kite. So it kind of shows like a kite right here. And this is really cool because remember, the name of this puzzle is air, so the elements. Kites fly in the air. I love how Florian did this. So it's kind of a little telegraphing of what strategy you would need. So where they both look is right here in this cell. And why? Why can you eliminate a 1 from this cell? And here's why. Because either a 1's right here, and you can eliminate that 1 right there. If the 1's not right there, the only place it could be in block, in column 1 is right here. So there'd be a 1. This can't be a 1, and then this cell would be a 1. So either way, you got a 1 here or here. So this cell can never contain a 1. And before I eliminate that 1 and get solving, I do want to share my fun fact about my Friday featured setter, Florian Wortmann. All right, Florian has done some collabs with other setters, mostly in the variant Sudokus. For classics, he's exchanged ideas a lot with Yoshi Baroshi, and that's great because Yoshi is the person who did my February puzzle pack, featured many puzzles by Yoshi. In fact, I will put a nice Yoshi puzzle at the end that you can check out. It will feature two-string kite. You do want to check that video out. All right, let us get rid of this 1 right here. This is key, and you see there's going to be some great stuff going on here. And if you're just not sure about how two-string kites work, how I can spot, because I told you I'd give you the secret to spotting them, check out my two-string kite in X-Chain tutorial. All right, I'll put a link to it right here. It will get you more familiar about how to spot these single candidate strategies and do some really great solving with some of these advanced puzzles. Now, what we can do, since we made this a 2-3-2-3, is we can eliminate all the coloring. We won't need to mark up where all the other ones are. And before I do that, let's get back here. I did say I was going to tell you the other strategy. So the other strategy you could find that would make the same elimination is right here. If you look up column 1 and you look up column 7, this is actually called a sashimi X-wing. Sashimi being that instead of having the other candidate right there, you got the candidates in these 2 spots. And basically, you couldn't have a candidate in either one of those 2 spots right there, or you'd end up breaking the puzzle because you would not run out of places to put the 1s. That's a little bit harder to spot, and it's not the intent. Sashimi X-wing has nothing to do with air, where two-string kite does. But I did want to show that to you in case you happen to spot that particular strategy. Now let's eliminate all of these wonderful cells. What does this do for us? So you got the 2s and 3s here. We can eliminate all of these 2s. So now where could a 2 be across row 3? Well, it can't be here because there's 2. So you can put a 2 right there. All right, and I didn't get out of color mode, so I will put the 2 right there. Other thing is now you got these 2, 3 here. 2 can't be here, can't be there, so we can put a 2 right there. This is great. This is what you need to make some more solving in the puzzle. And now we want to come on down column 2. You kind of want to follow the solve path. Yeah, and as you're making more restrictions, you want to be able to solve. All right, we got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 9. If you look down here, you got a 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 9. The only candidate missing is an 8. This is actually a naked single 8 right there. And this is going to put more pressure on now row 9. And I love it. I just want to keep following along with this. So let's look right here, right? You got to, this is kind of a neat way to see another naked single. You know, you have 4 candidates in the row. You got 2 extra candidates in the block. And then you'd have 2 other candidates, 2 and 9, up here in the column. And so 4 and 2 and 2, you got 8 candidates all showing right there. The only candidate that doesn't see a cell is a 3. So you can solve that for a 3. I love how Florian can put this into the puzzle. And then now what does that do for us? We look across here and you got a 1, 2, 4, and a 9. All right, I got a 1, 2, and a 4 right here. This is going to be a 9. And the reason why I put these 9s here is so that I could solve that 9 right away. I didn't want you to forget about those nice little 9s that we did with our Snyder notation. Okay, now we solved all the 9s. Where do we go from here? Go right back here and look, hey, what can this cell be? Well, we said 1, 2, 4, 9. We got the 9 in. This has a 4 and a 2, so this has to be a 1. And now let's follow the 1s. 1s in columns 3 and 2 means this has to be a 1. Awesome. And now what you see is with these 2 1s and this one in row 2, this has to be a 1. And we're going to be able to break up some more of this great block here. That was kind of the key to this puzzle here. So you got the 1, you got the 8. This has to be your 6. That's going to be your 1. And this is going to be your 6. Okay, we got a 4, 5 up there. Means this has to be a 6. I'm not going to actually mark the 4, 5. Let's look right here. What are we missing? 1, 2, 3, 4. We need a 5 and a 7. Can't do the 5 and a 7 yet, but I think we can make some progress with these 6s. So I got 6 in column 3, column 1, put a 6 right there. So I'm always going to try cross hatching to see and get as much progress I can do before I start doing more marking. So 6 across row 7, this 6 comes down, means you can solve for a 6 right here. And now with these two 6s in columns 5 and 6, and this 6 in row 4, we can solve for a 6 right there. So we've knocked out now all of the 6s. Isn't this great? And let's look across here. We have 2 candidates remaining. We can't actually solve those yet, but it's going to make a neat pattern for us. All right, this has to be a 2 or 4. Now you see this has to be a 2 or 3. What this means, whenever you see the same candidate and locked in the same 2 columns, that means that candidate is like a mini X-wing. So 2 has to be in one of those 2 spots in those 2 columns, which means in this middle block, a 2 cannot be in any of these cells. It has to be in one of these 2 cells over here. We actually have a 2 cutting across row 5, so that means we can solve this cell for a 2. And it ends up being sort of a claiming pair, but this is really neat. You need to kind of see this stuff to keep making progress in a puzzle like this one. So let's come over here and look for this column 4, which has a lot of restriction. All right, and so you're missing is you got a 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you're missing 3, 4, 5, and we have this great pattern which I love to point out. You have a 3 and a 4 in row 7, and you have a 3 up there. So whenever you have 2 to 3 missing candidates in one row, and then the other ones repeat in another row, you know you can solve all 3 of these cells, because this cell will have to be a 5. This cell will have to be a 4, and the remaining cell will have to be a 3. So anytime you see that, you always want to make sure you can solve quickly and get all 3 cells knocked out. All right, this has got to be a 5. Remember I said that was a 4 and a 5 before, and now we can start doing some solves with the 5s here. Okay, that has to be a 5. Now we have a full house, and I want to concentrate on that and go, okay, this has got to be an 8. 8 cutting across row 8 with this 8 coming down means I can solve for an 8 right here. Love seeing that. And then what else can we do? You know, we're missing looks like a 4 and an 8 right there. I can't do the 4 and 8 just yet. And I'm going to try to not do any more marking. I want to just see if I can do this all without doing too many extra marks. Okay, we got a 1 coming down column 7. Column 9 means this has to be a 1. It's the only place left for a 1. And do we have any more 1s to mark? No. So after solving the 1, we can move across here and go, we're missing a 2 and we're missing a 7. But hey, I got the 7 right there. So there's your 2 and there's your 7. And now this 7 cutting up column 1, this 7 cutting across means we can solve this cell for a 7. So that's kind of nice for us. And then when you look right here, what are we missing? It looks like a 2 and a 5. I can see the 2 already in column 2. So there's your 2. There's your 5. Now we can come on up and go, okay, here's going to be my 7. That's got to be my 5. And so you'll just keep making this progress. And again, I got a great video for you at the end, so keep on watching, follow along with me. I don't want you to make any mistakes and think that you've broken the puzzle. Make sure you got all the correct solves here. So right here, the only missing candidate is an 8. So we can solve for an 8 right there. We got these 8s going up and down. Column 7 and 8, this cuts across, means this has to be an 8, which means now we can solve this for an 8 in the middle and this for a 4. Awesome. And now let's look across here, and what are we missing? Looks like a 3 and a 7. I got my 7. So here's your 3, and here is your 7. I see this setting and cutting across, so that's got to be a 7 because we just placed a 7 there. We got another full house. Love the full houses, and we can solve that for looks like a 3. So these 2 3s means this has to be a 3, and with this 4, that has to be your 4, and this has to be your 5. Come on over here, and what are we missing? It looks like a 4 and a 5. I got a 5 right there. So here's your 5. Here's your 4. And now we're going to be able to disambiguate these cells. So this has got to be your 2. That's got to be your 4. This has got to be your 3. And the last cell is a 2. You need to check out this other puzzle if you want to solve Sudoku 2-string kites even better. Thank you so much, Florian, for this amazing puzzle. And thank you so much for watching.